And we're in Peterborough, as the luxury car parking. So I'm going to make my way to the ground in a second. Before I do, I'll try to have a quick look at the lineup. So we've got Maynard Brewer taking the slot number 1. Not too surprising really, after Harry Ice's last performance. We've got Asimwe, Jones, Nez, Thomas, Dobson, Anderson and Kamara in the midfield. It looks like Payne, May and Blackett Taylor up front. Looks like a wing-back formation again. We'll see how it goes. Interest gone with Payne over Kirk. Might be because of what happened last time with Kirk and his sort of lacklustre performance, we could say, against Newport. Anyway, that said, don't want to ramble on too much. That's the lineup. Predictions for today, I think it's going to be a tight game. I can see it being a 1-goal swing or a draw. They're going to be a tough team to beat, and I've not actually watched the score against Peterborough yet away, so hopefully it happens today. If not, oh well. I'll see you soon, guys. I'm going to head to the ground now.
I'm James. Lovely stuff. Lads, what's your game so far? What do you reckon?
It's stop-start and we ain't got hold of it yet. And one silly mistake and we're 1-0 down.
We've had more ball in we, but just not done enough with it. We've had the ball in we.
Yeah, we've had the ball, we just don't know what to do with it. We're getting in the final third and Alfie mate not getting he ain't getting the ball with his feet, he ain't doing, you know what I mean, we can't get a grip with it.
No, I agree.
Yeah, it's a very stop-start.
What do you make of their goal? What do you reckon?
Very sloppy. Very sloppy. Like I said, individual error on someone who you don't really expect to. But yeah, I think if they come out second half, get up too much.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We need a little bit more physical element to it, and then, you know, take the game to them. We're at their page, you know what I mean? Take the game to them.
Yeah, of course. Time score, what do you reckon?
I'm hoping 2-1 Charlton.
2-1, what do you reckon, lads?
1-0
You can't see it. Fair play.
And now you had all this optimism, and now it's sort of down a little bit now. But hopefully, second half they can come out and put it into it, you know what I mean?
Lovely. I'll leave it there, chaps. Thank you for that. All right, nice one. Well, we're here, 2 Charlton fans. Introduce yourself, chaps. Introduce yourselves. Charlton fan. Jim, what do you reckon today's game so far? How's it going?
I mean, so far so good. I mean, we're 1-0 down, but it's just one mistake. We control it. We control it for 5 minutes. They've had half chances. We've had half chances. I still think we'll come back second half.
I agree with the control. We've definitely had the control of the game, I'd say. You'd say so too, chaps?
Just need to get the ball better. It's one silly mistake. Right at the end of the half.
So if Ross come back into the second half, what do you reckon needs to happen?
Well, no. I'm sorry for Alfie way up top. It's like we haven't got that focal point up top. We ain't got that big target. You know what I mean? So that's not going to change. We just need to dominate in the field and do well.
Yeah, he's feeding off scraps, isn't he, really?
Get on that container, we saw it.
Yeah. Well, that's that, really. What do you reckon the rest of the season? Based on this and our other game, it's like, what do you reckon? Going up, yeah?
By the playoffs, yeah.
Going up, lovely. That's all I like to hear. Lovely stuff, chaps. Appreciate it. Right, half time here, Peterborough away. We've got 2 Charlton fans again. Introduce yourself, lads.
I'm already. Marching.
Right, lads, what do you reckon of the game so far?
Even. I don't think that's fun now.
50-50. I'll say we're more the ball, but we got called, didn't we? Unlucky. Tomorrow we got called napping.
They have one little break there, I think.
Yeah, there you go. It's your first game away, is it, I believe? Yeah, enjoying it? What's the atmosphere so far?
Yeah, really good.
Good atmosphere? Yeah. Hey lads, who's going to score second half? Like, what do we need? Who are we looking out for? Get out for make goal. Yeah.
Running behind, I think.
Yeah, we need to get us run behind.
There's space in behind.
Bucket Taylor's how much of the ball he has he so far today? No, it's been frustrating. And then the rest of the season, what do you reckon? Based on letting Orient at home in this game so far, what do you reckon? Signs of playoffs or?
I want playoffs.
Yeah.
I think hopefully we get the result back today.
Yeah. But it is, lads. I'll leave it there. Enjoy the rest of the game, alright? Appreciate it. after the game, Peterborough 1, Charlton 0. Introduce yourself, mate.
Yeah, I'm Tom.
Tom, what do you reckon?
Always hard to take a loss. I think there's a lot of positives to take of it.
Yeah.
We were weakened, missing 2 strikers. We've got Payne up there, which is never ideal. But
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a lot of positives to take out of it. We looked great in the second half. First half was a bit, well, we didn't get started to the 30th minute.
Yes, had quite a few chances, didn't we? I'd
Yeah,
say.
and then Brackett Taylor as well. Keyso's a great fullback, and first half he gave him a good show, but second half he got on top of it, and we're certainly creating chances, and I think we definitely will. Yeah, it'll come.
Yeah, hopefully. Would you say a draw was a fair result today?
I'd definitely say draw is a fair result.
All right, Tom, lovely stuff. I'll just say, what do you reckon for the rest of the season? Based on performances you've seen so far, what do you reckon?
I think we'll be up there. If we're not in there, we'll be just short in the playoffs, but I'm not going to go mad and say we're going to come top 2, but I certainly think we'll be up there.
Top man. All right, see you on Tuesday. Cheers, Shep.
Cheers.
Right, back home. It is actually Sunday. Decided to do the post-match analysis the day after. Felt like it was better to sort of think about what happens, get a little bit of an idea of what I want to talk about in my head, and then go for it. Didn't want to speak with too much emotion on the day. So it's a pretty, pretty flat performance, all things considered. A bit of a bogey team for us. So in the last 11 meetings, we've lost 7 times and drawn 4. It's pretty horrendous if we're being blunt. Sort of remind me of Oxford a little bit. They seem to be our 2 bogey teams in League One. It's not good enough, being blunt. We need to... I don't want to sit there and go, we need to be beating teams like Peterborough. But Peterborough, and unfortunately us, we're becoming that way, are a gatekeeper League One team. And to get promoted, you need to beat them, because they're always going to be that team that are either in the playoffs or fighting for them. And if you can't get results against them, you're probably not going to get yourself promoted. So, again, no disrespect. I feel like we are becoming a gatekeeper team ourselves in this league, which is horrendous. But hey-ho, that's where we're at. So, yeah, just not a great result. I'm going to look at the positives first of all. So, defensively, I think we're quite strong. I look at their lineup and I see Joel Randall. I look at Johnson Clark-Harris, bags of goals in him. I look at Kwame Poku, up and coming, really exciting winger. And then finally, I look at Ricky J. Jones, again, like a really exciting winger. I think he's had a great career in league football, potentially championship, obviously. But anyway, so I've got some real attacking threats right there, and I felt like we nullified them for the most part. I don't think they really looked too dangerous. I feel like most of their attacks came from counter-attacking, particularly when we were up against it and 1-0 down and we're sort of having to go for a bit more. I think early stages of the game, other than a few dangerous crosses, which I think was actually their best attacking play. They seemed very good at open play deliveries. Their crosses were very dangerous and could have gone against us most of the time. Fortunately, they didn't. So yeah, with that said, I was quite impressed by defence. They stood firm quite well against some dangerous attackers. And I think Peterborough they'll batter a few sides this season. So keeping it close against them is not the worst in the world. I'm trying to be positive here. And then 2 players I want to highlight as positives for us. George Dobbo, I feel like, again, he was a brilliant anchor. If he could play like that for every game this season, there's no worry about him at all. I'd say he was our man in the match, and quite comfortably as well. And then after that, I want to look at Panucci Kamara. First full 90 minutes in the tank. Really impressive run out, all things considered. I know his mistake led to our goal, but I'm not going to beat him up too much about it. I've seen the lads come out on Twitter and apologise. Don't think he needed to be honest. It's football, mistakes happen. And he was unlucky. And it's not just because of him we've conceded that goal. And it's certainly not that mistake that's lost us the game. We should be scoring. So you can't put it down on one player. So fair play for him. The negatives of the match. So, caught a break a few times. And it's frustrating because we look like the home side. We had the control of the ball more. We had more passes. I think we had more possession percentage, I believe. And in general, we looked like the team that had more of a control of the game. Unfortunately, that's not how you win football games, and we just weren't threatening enough. That's all there is to it. Our attacking outlets weren't physical enough. I'm not going to start getting Alfie Mays back because you can see he's doing the right stuff again. He's making the right runs. He don't stop running. But unfortunately, he needs someone to play with. He's not a lone striker, and I don't see the point of bringing in a striker that works in a pair better and then putting him up front on his own. You put him with Jack Payne. No disrespect to Jack Payne, he's not the biggest of lads, or Charlie Kirk, and again, no disrespect, Charlie Kirk's not exactly a forward man. He's more of a luxury wide player. So it's quite frustrating. And I imagine it's probably more frustrating for Alfie May. But I've got full faith in the lad. I believe if we get the right players in for him, he'll start bagging them. No issues there. But yeah, that was the main problem. On the counter-attack, on the break, I think that they looked really dangerous sometimes. In particular, again, their crosses. They just looked like if someone got on the end of them, we could have been in a real spot of bother a lot of the time. But that didn't happen. After that, I'm looking at the lack of the quality in the squad. You just look at that bench and you think, who are we going to bring on to make a difference? Like, no disrespect to these players, but like, Carnu's not really ready, I don't think, for league football. I think he could do it for loan, potentially National League, I don't know, League 2 if someone's willing to take him. There's a player in there somewhere, I think he needs a loan. And after that, we've got no strikers on the bench. There's not one. So what are we expecting, really? And we've been through this enough times. I don't think there's one Charlton fan who thinks our squad is ready. So they're the two negatives I want to highlight. The fact that we kept getting caught on the break, and if we're going to be a possession-based side, we need a bit more pace at the back, because there was a few close calls, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't think our defence is quite quick enough to play that higher line. You get away with it if you've got quick centre-backs or quick full-backs. We could unravel a few times this season because of that. So, moving on though from that anyway. Just got to say, I've got a bit of a runny nose going on, a bit of a cold. I'm not my normal talkative self. Thoughts on Peterborough were as a unit, the team, whatever you want to say. I thought they were pretty good, to be fair. I mean, I don't see them being any danger this season. I think they're going to easily be in that playoff push or just outside it, what have you. I think they had some real talented players on show. The four lads I mentioned earlier in attack, and then in particular Archie Collins. That's a real good pickup for them from Exeter. So yeah, there's no real shame in having a close game with Peterborough. They're a good League One side, and by all accounts, they could have been a championship team this season if they didn't bottle it against Sheffield Wednesday. So in regards to them, I'm not going to sit here and say better team won this and that, but I don't think you could argue too much with the result. I think you could probably say a draw would have been a bit more fairer. I heard a few of their fans turn out on the way out of the ground as well, that they thought nothing was in the game, and I'd agree with that. You can look at one side of it and say that Johnson Clark-Harris, he hit the post, he dragged one of his shots wide as well. And then obviously we had a few chances. Corey Blackett-Taylor testing their keeper a couple of times. But yeah, ultimately, none of us really put our foot in the game enough, and you know, they were fortunate from a Panucci Kamara mistake. So yeah, 1-0 is what it is. Early doors, 2 games in. Fair play to Peterborough, they got the result. So my thoughts on Charlton were, again, what I touched on earlier, I felt like we looked like the home side, which don't really amount to much if you're not getting points, but it's nice to go away to a team like Peterborough, who are renowned for attacking football and quite possession-based football with the 4-2-3-1, and sort of getting more possession, then more passes. It sort of shows we're on the right track. I don't want it to be a case of what happened to Ben Garner or even Jacko before that, where there's early signs of looking good, but then when the injuries start creeping up and we're not getting enough players in, the results don't go away, and then fans get frustrated, because it's all well and good sitting there and thinking, oh, we're knocking it about, well, we're getting chances, we just need this player, we need this player. But actions speak louder than words, and we need to get these players. And if our owners are serious about us actually getting out of this league, we need a target man. We need a centre-back with more pace, and we probably need someone in midfield with a bit more creative spark. So yeah, all in all, I'm not too negative about it. I feel like it's a new squad, a new manager, and we don't have a consistent spine in the team. Like every season we're swapping goalkeepers, it feels like. We seem to have a different striker every season, or lone strikers, or washed up has-been strikers. I think Dobbo is like the only real consistency we've had over the past few seasons, so we don't really have that spine foundation yet. So I'm not going to get too upset. I'm going to give it to the end of the window. I want to see who we bring in, who we let leave the squad. We need a couple of players in, certainly. I said it before. Centre-back with pace just feels so important to me, because it allows us to play that possession-based football with that high line, with those attacks. I think we could really, really do with another attacking outlet out wide to partner Corey Blackett-Taylor. I thought that man was obviously Campbell, but unfortunately he's injured, so can't wait for him to get back and drop all those points. I don't know. And then finally, it's that creative spark in midfield and that target man striker up top. We've obviously got Fraser for that creative spark sometimes, but he's injured, and it's sounding like it's a long one as well. I don't think we can afford to wait for him to come back. We haven't got anyone that can replicate what Scott Fraser does for us. I'm not concerned about Dobson and Kamara. I think that's the makings of a very good midfield 2, 3, whatever you want to call it. We just need someone at midfield who can just drag that ball through the midfield, because you saw it with some of them Peterborough players. You don't see it with Charlton players. The only lad who had any effort doing it was George Dobson, and I wish I got on record. He made a right good run in midfield. He got through 3 men, but again, it's not his job. Enjoyable day out, all things considered. I'll touch on our fans. I thought we were absolutely fantastic for most of the game. You know, in fine voice, good numbers, just shy of 2K, I think it was. And obviously, the other big positive for me was the interactions. Obviously, Dave and his young lads, Connor and Jim, and the other 2 chaps saw together, Owen and Archie, just top lads, really upbeat. And then finally, the last lad was Tom. On my way home, just nipped in Asda, bumped into him, and he was willing to have a chat. So yeah, if you lads watch this, like, massive shout out to you guys. Like, I really appreciate, obviously, how easy you made it to interact with you guys. You make, like, doing a video so much more fun. Quick rundown, like a little list on positives and negatives one more time. So, result, crap. I'm concerned about the lack of signings. We need more bodies through. We've got, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get it done. It needs to happen. If it doesn't happen, the absolute best outcome this season is going to be 6th, 5th, like just getting in playoffs. Even then, that's really hopeful. If we get the players that we want or need, then I think the minimum expectation should be playoffs. And yeah, and then the positives, just good atmosphere. We're in fine voice. It's a shame we didn't get the 3 points, but again, I really enjoyed the experience I had with the people I spoke to. And yeah, that's it really. Just didn't get a result. It is what it is. It's football, eh? Like, it's a bit gutting driving that way again, not getting a result. It's always a long drive home without the 3 points, or at least a draw. But hey ho, I wouldn't change it for anything. So with that said, I will see you at the next one. Bristol Rovers on Tuesday. So next time you see me, it's going to be on Wednesday. Guys, if you watched, really appreciate it. Comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And at final note, I'll see you when I see you. Take care.